Hi everyone, welcome to our Apsynergy Learning session. This session is part of our non-profit series of learning sessions. My name is Raphael Wolf. I'm the founder of Apsynergy. We are a Salesforce certified consulting partner for over 10 years. We've been working with non-profits, NGOs, foundations and businesses of all sizes on Salesforce projects. Over the past 10 years, I've managed hundreds of projects, trained hundreds of Salesforce users, administrators and developers. Today, we're going to learn about an important non-profit cloud module called Outbound Funds. This module allows you to manage grants that your organization hands out to other non-profits, individuals, for example scholarships, or even donor-advised funds. Once you have completed this session, please fill in the quiz to make sure you have your training validated and your certificate issued. Be sure to share our content with your colleagues who work on the Salesforce ecosystem. It's entirely free. Check out Apsynergy Learning on YouTube for additional free content. Here's the agenda for this session. What is the Outbound Funds module within Non-Profit Cloud? Use cases of this module, differences between grant management and outbound funds, installing Outbound Funds module, the key concepts, accounts contacts, funding requests, how to create a funding request, and finally, pre-configured Salesforce reports available with this module. One of the 4 pillars of the non-profit cloud is grant making. If you run a foundation and you grant amounts to other non-profits, other projects run by people outside of your organization, you can track grants in Salesforce. In general, these grants are formulated by funding requests, then followed up on over time. All of this can be automated in Salesforce. That's great news, right? This will help you save a lot of time and manual work when properly set up. There are several use cases for the Outbound Funds module. The first use case is a foundation gathering funds so that it can in turn finance nonprofits in an area or field of particular interest. The second use case for Outbound Funds is a foundation sponsoring projects or individuals. Scholarships. This use case can also be covered by this module. And donor-advised funds. A large donor may want to deploy funds to specific projects, in which case this module can also be used in this manner. Salesforce.org has a free offering to handle the outbound funds management. Salesforce also offers a paid offering called Grants Management. This paid option includes both features for internal users and a portal for nonprofits so that they can apply for grants. Today's learning session focuses on the Outbound Funds module, the free application from Salesforce.org. This provides functionality for internal Salesforce users, typically employees of a foundation that manages disbursements for grant recipients, grantees, and other covered use cases. Go to install.salesforce.org, click on Outbound Funds, and follow the installation procedure. Should you use your sandbox or the production environment? As you may know, a sandbox is a copy of your production environment. If your Salesforce instance is already used by other people, it is wise to first install the module in a sandbox to take no risk with production. Once you're happy and you've tested it in the sandbox, you can go ahead and install it in production. So here's a demo to install Outbound Funds module on your Salesforceorg. Go to install.salesforce.org, click on Outbound Funds module. We're going to have to connect to our environment. So in this case, a production environment, could be a sandbox. So let's go ahead and log in. Allow. And here we're going to deploy for all users. There's a pre-validation step. It's going to take a while. And then we can install. What is a contact? A contact is an individual, for example, a person making the funding request. A contact contains information such as email address, postal address, phone number, last name, first name, etc. Now what about accounts? Accounts are legal entities that your foundation has a relationship with. A funding program. A funding program represents a strategic program that an organization is championing and providing funding for. A funding request. A funding request is an application for funding. Requirements. Requirements are deliverables or milestones that are needed for the funding request to either be approved or closed. Reviews. A review tracks a reviewer's status and feedback about a funding request. Another object in this module is disbursements. These are payments or outgoing funds that have been made or scheduled to be made to the funding recipient. On a contact page, we have information related to a person, email, phone address, etc. Since Salesforce is a CRM, the leading CRM, we will naturally find activities on the contact form on the right-hand side. New task, log a call, new event, email. Accounts are legal entities with which you have a relationship. For example, non-profits that you fund, grant beneficiaries, but also households if you have opted for the NPSP, Non-Profit Success Pack. The funding request is the object that is central to the Outbound Funds module. Other records can be linked to a funding request, such as review, requirement, disbursement. Let's take a look in the demo. So a funding request. This is the most central object in the Outbound Funds application. And the funding request is linked to a funding program. In this example, Animal Rights 2022. And other records are linked to this funding request. For example, requirements, disbursements, and reviews. Let's take a look at how this works in the application. So this is my funding request. Here I have the details, the status, the close date, etc. Now let's go ahead and add a couple of requirements. So we have already one, which is provide annual report from last year. And let's add a new one, which is provide bank details. Okay, let's associate with a contact within the recipient. And I will assign this to myself. And I'll say that's a contract. Okay, save. So I have a couple requirements, and I'm going to add, for example, the awarded amount, which is following the recommended amount 40,000. Let's say the awarded amount is 40,000. Okay, and let's go ahead and create a couple disbursements. Let's create a first disbursement for 20,000. Status paid. Let's say that's today. Disbursement date today. Initial. And it's the transfer. And then we'll create another one in a couple of months' time. Here we go. April, May, June, 12th, 13th rather. Final. 13th of June. And save. And we can also create a few reviews in here. Initial review by board. Submitted. Due date. Let's say that happened last week. And save. So there you have it. We have our funding request, and then all these records which are related to the funding request: requirements, disbursements, and reviews. The Outbound Funds module comes with several pre-configured reports. To create additional custom reports, you can update these reports yourself and save them under a different name. Or you can create a new one from scratch by clicking on Reports and New. I really hope this training has met your expectations. We love helping nonprofits and foundations. I would like to thank you for your time today. Please let us know if you have any comments and suggestions. It is important to us as we want to improve your experience on Apsynergy Learning. Please share this content with your colleagues and friends using Salesforce, and be sure to visit the Apsynergy Learning YouTube channel. If you'd like to become an Apsynergy Learning content contributor and share free Salesforce educational content, it's possible. Just get in touch with me. Be sure to check out our library of free Salesforce training to continue to improve your Salesforce skills. Thank you so much, and see you next time.